Now this is a guy named Sean, and he's got a channel on YouTube, SGT Report. And I've listened to Sean for quite a while, but I wanted to share just a little bit of what he's talking about in this particular video. He did a couple of videos recently that I found to be very interesting, and they deal with specifically police who are acting as low-life enforcers. And I just want you guys to listen to this, if you will, for a second.
The opposite is true. South Dakota, I think, being one of them. But listen to the rest of this, because this person is feeling quite desperate.
Children have not seen sunlight in 2 months. The fines are now a minimum of $2,000. Now, you know, here in Toronto, Stan, it's $5,000 for breaking the 6 feet sort of distancing. That's Toronto, Rainbow Unicorn Land. And yes, that is a fine we get if we talk to someone outside of the house, even with social distancing. Police brutality has become a big issue. People have changed. They now call police on people they see on the street. The police.
Two very important things right there. Police brutality, and the man said that people have changed. They're now calling the police on their neighbors. And we're seeing this, a lot of this here in the United States. I don't know if this person isn't Canada or if he's in, I'm not sure. But we're seeing a lot of this here in the United States, and that's another thing that really seriously needs to stop.
Police arrive in a group and beat the person up. People on balconies clap. This stressful prison situation has created pain and tension. It has removed compassion and a sense of community. Terror of numbers of contagion rising make people hateful towards anyone in the streets. I know, I talk about this with myself walking around. Because any person outside can cause us to be caged longer. People are hanging from these artificially inflated numbers, desperate to find a sliver of hope to see sunlight. Again, as the government keeps on promising fast release if everyone behaves. And the fake numbers go down, but the day of prison release gets pushed further and further out. It's impossible now to get together and protest. We are a broken community.
That's the part I wanted to get to. We are a broken community. So again, think about what's going on in Michigan, and I think it correlates a lot with what we're seeing in Spain. Other states in the Union here in the United States, fortunately, that's not the case. Not every governor is a tyrant. However, the point I want to make, Crow, and I'll play the clip in a second, is that if we are to fall to this tyranny, we will be our own prison officers. We will be our own slave masters. And if that's the case, the cops will not support and enforce the Constitution. They will enforce and support the tyranny of these governors.
Yeah, I'm still banking that there's more adults than we think there are. Is every police officer going to be willing to do the wrong thing? Is he not going to realize that he has a mother, that he has a sister and a brother and children? Is he going to forget that everybody wants their children to do better than they did?
Does one cop arresting someone who is obviously not a criminal, could be, you know, somebody in his own police force? It could be their mother, it could be their sister, it could be their cousin. You know, is he not, you know, are these cops not thinking when they're arresting this law-abiding citizen that someone could be arresting one of their relatives somewhere else on in the other side of town? I mean, what are these cops thinking to even, you know, join that side and do that bidding against basically their own people? It makes no sense.
I don't think everybody's ready to forget that. And it's unfortunate what's going on in these smaller locales that already kind of had a bit of fascism, like Italy. They've got a fascist tax police there that's basically just like the mafia. We've covered it before, but here it's different. Here there is a right to bear arms. Here it is big, massively big in the United States. And not only that, the vast majority of us who are over, I don't know, 40 can remember the idea of home of the free and the brave, can remember the analog age, can remember what's been given up here. And
this is a letter from someone in Spain who, I guess, I don't know if they wrote to SGT, Sean at the SGT Report, or where this letter came from, but I just want to play a little bit of this for you.
In front. On March the 14th, Grace and I were able to sit at the beach for 5 minutes. Then we were told to go home ASAP. The police was finding people 200 pounds if found outside. We rushed home, and Grace has not been outside her apartment for 2 months since those 5 minutes on the beach. Since March 16th, as we were home, the rules have changed. They become stricter every day, and the fines got higher and higher. We have extremely strict rules. We have lost our freedom completely. I have no idea this could happen. Until you experience this, you absolutely have no idea what it means.
So here are some people who, and these people are in Spain, and this is what they're facing over there. They have, as you just heard the man, lost their freedom completely. And that's their plan. That is the plan for the New World Order, this New World Agenda. That is the plan that the elites have for us, the sheeple. Just so you know. Now, Sean also had this guest on another video. And this is again SGT report, and I recommend that you guys get on over to his channel, check out some of his videos. He's been doing a lot of good work for a very long time. When I was a staunch Q follower, I had a problem with a couple of things that Sean said in some of his videos, but because he was expressing doubts about the plan and about the president and so on and so forth. And so at the time, I was very much in follower of the Q movement, and I still have great admiration and respect for the followers of the Q movement, the people that follow Q. But I think that there are some unanswered questions that I have with the whole Q movement. And so with some of the things that I'm seeing with the Q thing. Anyway, this is a sheriff, not to get off topic. We are talking about low-life enforcers. And now, we've talked so much about low-life enforcers. I want to point out that there are good police officers. Many, thank God, good police officers. And Sean, here on the SGT report, spoke with one of them. And again, I recommend that you go on over there and get a copy, or not get a copy, but watch the video. I'm not selling anything. I don't have anything to sell, so don't get a copy. But go on over there to the SGT report and take a look at not only this video, but some of his other work. He does amazing work. But this is Sheriff Mack, and I want you to, just for a second, listen to what he has to say to Sean at the SGT report.
Sheriff Mack went all the way to the Supreme Court back in the late 90s fighting the Brady Bill, and the NRA financed his lawsuit, which he won. Now, had he not done that, we would not have what's left of our Second Amendment today. Sheriff Mack, how are you?
Well, I'm doing great, Sean. Thanks so much for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do here in the face of this pandemic is wake up sheriffs across the country. And the good news is we are seeing bright spots around the country. Here's a news item from Eastern Washington where the sheriff says he won't enforce stay-at-home orders. We've got a sheriff in Racine County, Wisconsin, saying the exact same thing. What is your organization trying to do to make sure that this goes coast to coast?
We're trying to make sure that there's not just little drabs doing that anymore. That we want a majority of the sheriffs doing it. We can actually win. We can win this whole thing. We can take our Constitution back. We can take our liberty back tomorrow. Even if we just had a third of the sheriffs in this country doing it, that would be 1,000. I'll even go as low as a fourth. 700 or 800 sheriffs doing this, and we win. Because that's too many to control. The feds won't be able to stop it. The governors won't be able to stop it. The mayors won't be able to stop it. Any dictator, any self-appointed dictator in America today will not be able to stop them. And the wonderful thing about it is your sheriff doesn't answer to any of them.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. He said we could stop this stuff tomorrow, or we could stop it in a minute or something. He said we could stop this stuff very quickly. And I think that is so interesting that he said that, because I have heard that somewhere before.
We have the means to shut this down right now. And you need to know that.
We've heard that somewhere before, haven't we? So again, this guy is or was at some point a sheriff. And here's something else that he has to say, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this off after this. I don't want to play too much of this, but again, SGT Report, Sean over there, SGT Report, go check it out. But I do want you guys to hear this.
Yeah.
The Constitution protects us from our own best intentions. In other words, shutting down the country because it's for our own good, that doesn't fly. There is no provision in any state constitution or in the federal constitution or in any statute or any principle of government that we adhere to or that the founding fathers established that allows government to create a dictatorship, destroy the Constitution, destroy liberty, and completely control our lives. There's nothing of that's allowed, not even close. But
So right there, what he's saying right there was so important. There is nothing in our Constitution, anywhere in our laws on American soil, there is nothing that gives authority to a governor, the president, or anyone else to strip us temporarily or permanently of our constitutional rights. And I think part of the reason for that is because the Constitution doesn't give us our rights. The Constitution recognizes inalienable rights that are given to us. You know, we are endowed by our Creator certain inalienable rights. That means the Constitution, you know, that clause right there means that, our founding fathers, this country was founded on the principle that they're recognizing that God gave us certain rights that no man can take away from us. And that's what that's all about. No pandemic, no epidemic, no nothing can, suspend constitutional rights. There's no such thing.
They always seem to have an excuse. They always seem to think that there's an emergency which requires the Constitution to be suspended. And no such thing exists, and we're going to stand in their way, and we're going to remind them.
And that's why it is so frustrating to see things like this. Not just frustrating, infuriating to see things like this. This is the quintessential low-life enforcer.
This micromanagement from the faceless bureaucrats and their low-life enforcers only serves to underscore the very nature of large totalitarian government, like we are seeing evolving right now.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
I'm Deputy Everhart with the Sheriff's Department. So, are you aware that we're in a stay-at-home order right now?
Yeah, obviously.
By the government?
Yes,
of
I am
Wisconsin?
aware.
Okay, you're aware of that?
I am aware.
So I don't need to explain that to you?
No, you don't need to explain
Okay,
that to
because
me.
I can if you need me to.
Wow.
Go. You can because your officer was just here 2 weeks ago.
Okay, do you need me to
and
explain
he
it to you or
explained
no?
it to me that you guys weren't enforcing that order.
Oh, we're about to.
Okay.
So you understand it, though?
Okay, so why are you here?
Because your daughter is going to play at other people's home and you're allowing it to happen.
They were over here as well. So
Okay.
are you
And
here?
they've been talked to
Okay.
about it. So
No,
I'm
I
talking to
understand.
you,
Okay.
and so either you can acknowledge it or you can argue.
I'm acknowledging it.
Okay, stop having your kid go by other people's home.
Okay.
Am I in some sort of twilight zone? Or did you people just hear that too? Did this belligerent cop, this guy is an enemy of the United States people. He is an enemy of the people of the United States of America. This belligerent bastard is the quintessential, he is the scumbag. It doesn't even come close to describing what this pathetic person is, in my opinion. This is the lowest form of life that you can possibly reach. This is that low-life enforcer right there. And this is just shocking to me that this guy would come and talk to someone that way about a citizen. And this person who he's talking to right now is one of those people who supported cops when Black Lives Matter were ambushing them, shooting them in their cars. So this is the way that he talks to, a citizen of a taxpayer that he is sworn to protect and serve. He's sworn to uphold the United States Constitution and protect and serve the citizenry. Well, this guy's very confused, and he needs to be stripped of his badge and of his gun. Him and the officer that he is with as well, both of them.
I acknowledged it. Anything else?
Nope, that was it. Apparently, there was some other
I
issue
acknowledged it.
before
I acknowledged
Okay,
it.
good.
Anything else?
Yeah, I need your last name. Amy, what's your last name?
I'm not. Is there a reason you're asking for
I'm
it?
adding you to the screen so we can document that we had contact with you.
Is there a reason?
Because I'm a drone. The reason is because I'm a drone, and I don't have any integrity, and I don't have any point of reference that my moral compass is so far off that I don't have a point of reference that directs me with integrity to do the right thing. That's why I'm doing this.
For it.
Yep, because you're violating a state order, which is a...
If you let me finish, that's what I'm explaining
And
to
they're
you.
smug, too.
Because you're violating an order.
I haven't violated an order.
We're going to have documentation in our screen with your name because we're here talking to you about that you said.
These are the last people on the planet who should have a badge and a gun. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, this woman's about to tell a big lie, and I want you to hear it.
These days, public spaces are closed for a reason.
Yeah, it is for a reason, so that's kind of a lie and kind of not a lie. There's no good reason why public spaces are closed, but there is a reason. It's because, well, I'm not going to go into the reason, but it stems from corruption. It's a very corrupt place that it stems from.
It's to stop the spread of COVID-19. And one mom...
That's the lie. That's not why there's restrictions.
Found out the hard way. Officials are serious about it. As Diane McInerney reports, she was arrested and charged with trespassing for entering a closed city playground.
Controversy erupts as a mom was arrested in a playground closed due to the pandemic.
Officer, you don't want to do that.
The arrest of a Meridian woman has sparked backlash.
I feel like I was singled out because I was the only person that was arrested.
The incident happened at a park in Meridian, Idaho, where anti-lockdown parents reportedly sent out this plea on social media, taking our kids to the park to tear the tape off the playground.
I'd like to just point out real quick, too, that this is the woman who was arrested, and the Bundy, the guy in the black cowboy hat, went and served the officer a summons to appear because they filed a lawsuit against the officer that placed this woman in handcuffs. But again, this is some of the stuff that's going on in our country. These are the low-life enforcers who, this is, again, another person who was a supporter of the police. I guarantee you this woman was a very staunch, steadfast supporter of the police. But this is how the police are treating that core demographic of support. The only demographic in the United States that really supports them are these types of people right here. And it's amazing to watch the stupidity of our policemen. Now, that woman did come back and issue a statement, kind of an apology.
I'm who strives every day to teach my children to take responsibility and ownership when a mistake is made. And I want to try to make this...
There was a mistake, but you didn't make it. The cop who arrested you, that scumbag, that lowlife enforcer made the mistake. And I don't agree that she should be apologizing right now, but that cop has traumatized this woman. See, when she was in the park, she was defiant because she was trying to stand up for her rights. But look what they've done to her now. Now, the woman is traumatized. Look at this cop should never, ever be permitted to wear a badge again.
It's right between us.
Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center.
That is...
And again, what doesn't look right in this picture? Well, I'll tell you what doesn't look right. None of it looks right in America. Off the top of my head, I'm going to guess this guy's not a criminal. But this is, again, what we're seeing. We're seeing these low-life enforcers who lack integrity. And what's amazing is if you look at this crowd that the police are turning against, This is the core group of supporters that have always been loyal to, have been there for the police. This is the core group of supporters that have always been that staunch backbone support of the police, sometimes whether they're right or wrong. These are the people and they're turning on them. It's amazing. It's astounding to see this.
Right to assemble! Right to free speech! Let him go! Right to assemble! Let him go!
I object to seeing my country being destroyed from within.
So do I. And here again, the police showing their gratitude to a taxpayer who pays their salary.
Mooney says his family just wanted some fresh air. Say they went to an open space to play some t-ball, never guessing it would land him in the back of a police cruiser. Now he wants a public apology.
Brighton police are apparently arresting a dad for throwing a ball to his daughter.
It was a former city council member who could not believe what he was recording.
Try and wrap your head around what we just saw right there. Because it's tough for me to wrap my head around this, but does this say, or does it not say, social distancing arrest? Dad cuffed at park in front of 6-year-old daughter. So again, the core group of supporters for the police are being attacked now by the police, and they're traumatizing mothers. These police officers are traumatizing 6-year-old little girls by arresting their fathers. What scum? What scum have we given badges and guns to who would do such a thing? What scum would do such a thing? Well, I can tell you this. It's certainly someone who lacks integrity. No one with a shred of integrity would ever do something like that. There's no law called social distancing in America, folks.
But he was recording
in a park of about, 30, 40 acres. But apparently that is not allowed by Brighton.
Well, if you don't give us your information, we're going to put you in handcuffs in front of your 6-year-old daughter.
Matt Mooney is the 33-year-old dad who assured his daughter they were doing nothing wrong when police approached and told them they were violating the state's social distancing guidelines.
She's like, Daddy, I don't want you to get arrested. And at this point, I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to arrest me.
And again, there is nothing, no law in the books in this country, not in our United States Constitution, in any state constitution, as the man we just heard him say, that allows the authorities to suspend your constitutional right to be free, to freely to gather together freely, the freedom to associate, freedom of assembly. That's protected under the First Amendment, the right to freely assemble however you wish. And there's no provision in the law that says that those rights can be suspended because of some virus. There's just nothing that supports that, period.
You just completely stripped an individual's right to keep and bear arms with the stroke of a pen without any type of due process at all.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like we're stripping you of your right to keep and bear arms without any due process.
Well, what are you doing then?
Stripping you of your rights without any due process?
I swear the next thing you're going to tell me is that I need to apply for a free speech license, and I'll be unsuitable for that as well.
Don't give him any more ideas.
Now, although this did not happen at the during the lockdown, the pandemic, call it whatever you want, this did not happen during that time. This happened back December 2019. But I just wanted to show this just to show that we have a serious problem, with police officers who, one, have no integrity, and two, do not know the boundaries of their own authority, where their authority ends. You give them a badge and a gun, and some people, you can't give them a badge and a gun because they don't have the intelligence to recognize what their boundaries are, and they don't respect the citizens' rights. And such people should never be given a badge and a gun.
This is a violation of my rights. You went into my house. You went into my home. You went into my home without being welcomed into my home.
This mom was forcefully arrested in her home. Officer Casey Barnum responded to the call from the son of Rose Perez, who said he'd been kicked out of his mom's house.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're getting a call from your son saying you guys are kicking him out.
I've actually just got home. He has a warrant out for his arrest.
Right.
Out of...
Possibly not doing court or something.
Yep, that's right. Yep, that is right.
He's calling us saying you're kicking him out of the house.
I just got home from court, like literally just walked in the house. It's been my sister, and he actually hasn't been allowed in my house because he did this the last time, and I had to do a well check because I was at work. So I did tell her not to open the door if he came back, if I'm not here. Okay, well either way, he has a warrant out for his arrest, so you guys...
That cop, in case you didn't catch that, just lied right there when he said...
Okay, well either way, he has a warrant out for his...
That's a lie. This woman can do that, and I don't know why. See, this cop right there, I don't know who gave him a badge and a gun, but we need to do something about that because this moron never should have had a badge or a gun. Ever. Watch what he does.
Arrest, so you guys can deal with it. Okay?
So, as a mother?
Okay, I gotta go, okay?
So I'm pretty sure I know which warrant it is. It was for the incident a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna come outside.
He's not coming to go to flat for that.
Okay. It's not a warrant for that. It was a warrant today because he failed to show up for court. So let me explain to you, officer, what's been going on, okay? So first off, he's kicked my door down before.
Okay.
The whole entire thing. The other day I was at work, and I can't leave work to come and see what's going on. I have small baby children here.
Okay.
And he did this to my door while I was gone. So he has a warrant out for his arrest out of Adams County right now for failure to appear. And the judge specifically told me, I told her everything that happened, as I'm telling you.
Okay.
And am I kicking him out now? Yeah, he has a warrant out for his arrest. He's not welcome in my home until he gets that taken care of.
Okay.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can. He's a fugitive.
This cop is an idiot. This cop is a complete moron. The man has a warrant out for his arrest. She's not supposed to. The law says that you can't harbor a fugitive. So this cop is a complete idiot because he's telling her that she can't refuse to... he's essentially telling this woman, you have to harbor a fugitive. You can't keep him out of your home. But he's a fugitive. He has a warrant out and he's running from the warrant. So clearly there is a law that says you can't harbor a fugitive. There is no law that says you have to harbor a fugitive. So I don't know what kind of crack this particular police officer is smoking. But, and again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. In the end, what happens is, and I'll fast forward a little bit so you guys can see this.
Yes, I can.
You can call. Listen,
yes,
listen.
Can. What?
I listen to you.
Okay, what?
You can call us if he comes, but you cannot say.
And that's another problem with these cops. So demeaning. They talk down, so demeaning, like as if, you know, we are there to protect and serve them, like we're there to serve them. Just demeaning the way that he talks to her and just...
You can't come in. And if you lock him out, he can kick your door to get in because he lives here.
And that's a lie. He can't kick your door in to get in. I don't know what kind of crack this guy's smoking. It's just crazy.
He is not welcome. Nonsense until... Too bad, so sad. Goodbye.
No, that's not how... Ma'am, listen. That's
You
not how...
need to leave out of my house.
Stop.
You do not have any permission to go into my house.
He just went into her home. I don't know what kind of crack this guy's smoking, but he needs to stop smoking it.
No right to come into my home. You have absolutely no right to come into my home.
That's really 4th of July custody.
Get me out of these cuffs.
No, you're going to jail.
I am not going to jail.
You are going to jail.
Bet.
And you're losing your job.
Stop.
Brina! Brina! Brina!
Fortunately, they freed her, and the police department proved that Dave Burnham's actions not appropriate, and he's no longer with the police department. So, good news there. They got rid of this retarded bastard because, again, I don't know why he was ever a cop. That's just, it's amazing. But do you see the problem that we have with a lot of these people that we give a badge and a gun to? We got to rethink that. And the same thing goes, I haven't covered judges yet, but some of the judges that we have, just as bad as some of the police officers. And I don't want people to think that I'm against police officers. I've been one of those people too. I support police officers, but I don't support this stuff, because this is not policing. This is not police enforcement. This is nothing more than enforcing tyranny for thugs, for dictators, for tyrants. A lot of people may not remember when was it? This one here, this was 2014. This was during Barack Obama's reign of terror, when police were being slaughtered in the
Stupid ass phone.
This video is called Execution Scene Aftermath. 2 NYPD officers shot dead in Brooklyn.
They shot him in the head?
You can see that over there, man. Room, huh? That's what left me do.
They pumping them. They pumping.
So a lot of people may not remember that there was a relatively brief period of time where it was open season on police officers. People were popping cops left and right, in this country. I mean, just popping them in the head when they're sitting there reading the paper in their car, or, drinking a cup of coffee, whatever, they get popped in the head by somebody. And it wasn't this core group of supporters that the police are oppressing right now. Those were the people who supported them through all of this. And a lot of people don't remember those days. But yes, there was a time in this country not too long ago when there was one demographic of the United States. There was one group of people who supported police officers. And there was another group, couple groups, and I'm not going to mention Antifa, and I'm not going to mention, but they were killing cops. I mean, just popping them off. A lot of people don't remember that. And, I mean, this went on.
Breaking news, first at noon, 5 police officers are killed in the line of duty in Dallas during a street protest against police violence. And now we're learning more about one of the suspects and a
lot of people, will remember that in Dallas. 5 cops were killed. And it was at a Black Lives Matter protest or something like that. And, 5 officers. And this is what the police chief in Dallas during that time had to say.
We are heartbroken. There are no words to describe the atrocity that occurred to our city. All I know is that this must stop. This
And I agree, this divisiveness needs to stop. I agree with him on that. The problem is that, first of all, this was an attack by people on the left. The Antifa, the Black Lives Matter. These people were the ones who were anti-police, who hated the police, and who were very abrasive toward the police. There were times when the Antifa would have rallies, attack the police, and the police would just have to stand there and allow them to do it. But yet, the people who supported them through all that are now being targeted by the police. And I'm scratching my head on this, folks, but that's the truth. And so just let that sink in for just a second, what I just said right there. The people who were attacking the police, killing the police, are being protected by the police. The police would allow them to, this group of people, this demographic on the left, to attack them, to physically assault them. They were throwing water. They were throwing things. They were physically hitting the police, and the police were instructed by the bureaucrats, and the low-life enforcers were told not to enforce against this group. But now the people who supported the police through that, now the police are oppressing them and attacking and focusing on them and attacking the people who supported them while they were being attacked by the other group. just let that sink in. That mystifies me, that the police could be that stupid and so lacking in integrity. That just mystifies me. This little headline is a dandy. Tells us that 6 officers were shot in a Philadelphia
Standing
standoff.
behind this police tape, but I saw a woman peeking out from her home, but quickly closing the door and remaining inside.
5 killed in New York,
what police
6
officers
officers
are
shot
asking
here in
people to do
Philadelphia.
in this area because it is still not a secure location. It's still not
And
safe.
again,
You can see
this is
some plainclothes officers.
from August 14, 2019. Now this was more recent. This is not when Barack Obama was in office. This is actually pretty recent, this last year.
I am good.
But again,
I am good.
shows that the willingness of some people, one group, to just kill officers. And again, there was that one demographic that always were supportive of the police. And look what the police are doing to them now. It's astounding. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the upper right-hand corner here of the screen coming in, these police cars. This just shows you the level of hatred and animosity that some people have for the police. You see that guy? You see him shooting at the police car? There's someone in that car. He just shot a police officer. And here come the police out the door. And they'll give chase. And the chase is on now. Now the chase is on. And I'm going to tell you something. This chase lasts for a very long time. It did not end quickly. This thing went on for quite some time. I mean, they chased him. But again, this just to show you the level of animosity, the level of hatred that some people have developed for the police. And the police are not doing themselves any favors right now by alienating the one group who have been their backbone of support through all these difficult times. And so, again, develop some brains, guys, because if you put together all the brains in the police force, seems to me you got nothing but a rock collection right there, because you people don't seem to have the slightest bit of common horse sense to alienate your core base of supporters for nothing, to tell them that they can't come outside. You're violating the law to enforce an unlawful order. You're the criminal, officer. You're the criminal today. Not in this scene here, but in these acts that we have seen previously of them arresting mothers in parks. You're the criminal there. And I don't understand why they don't get that. Now, here's a girl calling the police to tell them that she is in danger, but she also tells them that the police are in danger too. I want you to listen to this 911 call.
Danger.
Okay, where are you at?
6 East Washington Street, but the cops in Danville are in danger too.
What's going on?
My ex-boyfriend's out in camo looking to kill a cop. He's got my house keys. He's got my truck keys. He's got guns on him. He's already beaten me and threatened to kill me. I don't know. He's coming. Hold on. I gotta go.
What's his name?
Herschel Ray Jones.
You want me to send a cop to your house?
No, that's the bad thing. He'll kill me.
Not long after that call came in, Officer Tom Cottrell was found, shot and killed, his body a few feet away from the police station.
And here's the thing. You see a story like this and your heart goes out to the cop. You think of his family, and if he had a family, and you think about them, and you don't want, as people with integrity, people who want to live good lives and do the right thing, and people who respect authority and who support police, we don't want to ever get to the point where we see a story like this and feel nothing for the guy. You know, we don't want to ever get to that point, because if the day ever comes that the police ever lose that aspect of support from the community, they're toast. If the day ever comes when people see a story like this and they don't give a crap because of the way that the police have turned into low-life enforcers rather than champions of truth and justice, when that day comes, it's over for the police. I mean, they're toast. And now, just to demonstrate to you guys what I'm talking about, you know, when I speak on citizens who have been that core backbone, that core support to the police in this country, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Some citizens are so dedicated that they will come to the aid of a policeman who is in distress.
Trooper in Arizona is recovering after getting shot, and a complete stranger is being hailed a hero this morning for helping save his life.
Hello, officer down, officer down.
The 27-year-old veteran trooper was responding to the area about 50 miles from Phoenix from a report from someone shooting on the freeway. Along the way, the trooper saw a wrecked vehicle. When he stopped, that's when witnesses say a gunman ambushed the trooper, shot him in the shoulder, and then jumped on top of him. A man driving by saw everything, grabbed his gun, and shot and killed the suspect. Another driver called for help by using the trooper's radio.
To the civilian on the GPS trooper's radio, if you can hear me, I need you to let me know where the suspect is that was in altercation with our trooper.
The suspect is occasionally snorting or breathing. He's been shot by the passerby. He's laying right next to the officer.
The trooper is expected to survive.
So in this story, the trooper was shot by someone who ambushed him, and just a citizen, the kind of citizens who the police are now oppressing and harassing and violating their rights to freedom, enforcing for mob bosses who have set themselves up as governors and city councilmen, so on and so forth. That same passerby now being harassed by the cop. He actually shot the person who was attacking the police officer. And here's yet another situation where a police officer was in trouble and a passerby.
Fire, dude. Oh my god. Don't, bro. Oh my god. You think he'll get arrested? Resisting the officer. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! He just shot, dude! Oh my god!
So there again, another situation where people who support police really go to bat and support police. And I'm going to tell you, police officers, something. If you lose that, you're idiots. You lose that, and you are freaking idiots. These people are willing to, well, you see what they're willing to do for you. They're willing to take another man's life, and people don't do that easily. That's not something people just casually do, is take another human being's life. Most people don't. Those who do are sick, but people don't just casually take another person's life. But this person's willing to do that for you. And look how you're treating them, man. And here's something that is so frustrating, so infuriating to me, is that they take these these women, just typical, upper middle class housewife, police supporting, type women who are in the park. They take them to jail. This father who just wants to play ball with his daughter, with his kids. They take these people to jail, people who have always supported them. But look what they do to these people who are not. This is how in the black neighborhoods they're treating cops who are trying to enforce. They go into white neighborhoods and they enforce this crap. But look what they do in black neighborhoods. The same people who will bust a cap on them sitting in their car.
Fuck this shit, everybody. Get your bitch ass out here. Bitch ass.
that is how they treat the cops. Okay, that is how they treat cops. That's their answer for the cops. They call them a bitch and run them out of their neighborhood. That's how they treat the cops. So you ain't arresting nobody up in the hood, but yet you come in the people's neighborhoods who have supported you when other certain demographics of the community, of society, were popping you in your head, you know, shooting you as you sit in your cars. Them, you allow them to run you out of the neighborhood. You don't do, this is what you do to them. But for the people who supported you while you were being targeted, now you want to oppress them? I swear, somebody is retarded. And it comes from the top down, these kinds of things. Because if you got someone who's has integrity at the top, then he's going to make sure that there's integrity throughout. But if you got somebody who's a thug, somebody at the top who is a mob boss, a thug, a criminal, then that's gonna permeate the entire force under him. Because people are followers, and even cops. Yes, even when you put on a uniform, it is very rare that you find an individual with enough integrity to say, hey, this ain't right. This ain't right. And I'm not doing it, to a supervisor, to a superior. But this is what we need, because that's what integrity is. This is just an unforeseen consequence of this wearing of the face masks and everything I wanted to share with you guys.
Good evening, everybody. We begin with the latest on a Flint murder from Friday. The two men you're looking at here still at large tonight. Police actively searching for them. 23-year-old Ramonier Trayvon Bishop on the left, 44-year-old Larry Edward Teague Jr. on the right. Both wanted on first-degree premeditated murder, among other charges. They could face life in prison. They are accused, along with a third person, of killing a Family Dollar security guard in Flint over that store's requirement for customers to wear face masks. Mid-Michigan Now's Alicia Bergio is live outside that Family Dollar tonight. Alicia, this story is heartbreaking on several levels. What do we know at this point?
Yes, it really is, Mike. Now, Prosecutor Layton says those two suspects, 23-year-old Ramon Bishop and 44-year-old Larry Teague, are still on the loose and are considered armed and dangerous. That third female suspect is in custody and is so far cooperating, according to Prosecutor Layton. Now, Layton says on Friday the female suspect went to Family Dollar with her daughter. The female suspect got into an argument with the security guard, Kelvin Munnerlin, over her daughter not wearing a mask. The suspect was forced to leave and later came back with her son, Bishop, and husband, Teague. According to investigators, the men went into the store and argued with Munnerlin over disrespecting their wife and mother. Police say the argument escalated, and that's when investigators say Bishop...
Yeah, now see, on this story right here, I got mixed feelings about this. Because that security guard, how do I know he wasn't one of those gung-ho cops, who was just enforcing for the sake of enforcing because he gets a hard-on? Some people do. They get an erection from enforcing. They just get this. They have this sick, depraved. It's a depravity, but they have this sick and depraved need to lord over other people, to exercise authority over other people. And when you get a person like that, and then you compound that problem by adding the fact that this person has no integrity, you got a seriously dangerous person there who really needs to be taken completely out of the picture of law enforcement in any capacity, even security guard. And so I don't know what the situation was with this particular security guard, but I suspect that there's the possibility, at least for sure, that he could have been exercising authority and in a way that is inappropriate. And so that's why he got shot. So I don't know. I wasn't there. But I don't just at face value, I'm not going to say that the people who shot this security guard were necessarily in the wrong. I'm not going to say they were in the right either. But what I will say is that people people do not like being told, they do not like having their freedoms trampled underfoot. And no one has the authority to tell a person that they have to wear a mask. I won't wear a mask. And so if you tell me that I have to wear a mask, you're going to have a problem out of me, because I'm not going to ever wear a mask. Look, when I decide to start robbing stagecoaches, I'll get me a horse, 6-shooter, and I'll wear a mask. Until then, don't you dare think that you're ever going to require me to wear a mask. You know, I'm going to end with this thought right here, and message to the police. You know, if you guys are thinking that these New World Order, your mob bosses that you work for, you know, in the governor's mansions and other places, these powers and principalities in high places that you're working for, these demons, here's a message for you guys. If you think that they have any love for you, or that you are not going to be summarily dismissed, canned, eliminated, and abused yourself when they are done using you, then you're sadly mistaken, because I'm going to clue you in on a little secret in case you don't have the intelligence to figure this out for yourself, in case you haven't figured it out already. Something that is glaring. This mob bosses that you work for that are ushering in this New World Order, they're trying to usher, what they want to usher in, make no mistake about this, is a 5G grid that is going to provide them with the framework that they need to usher in an AI world, a world run by artificial intelligence. That's what the whole rollout of the 5G is all about. The 5G is going to give them the power grid they need to completely transform this world into an AI-run world. And in that world, they're going to be eliminating a lot of human beings in law enforcement. And you don't have to believe me, just take a look.
You've heard about this. The same-day bot is a new device from FedEx that is already roaming the streets of New York. But if you get in trouble or if family arguments get a little too rowdy at the Thanksgiving table, there's a robot you do not want to see. Check out this video from a TechCrunch conference. Here's a Boston Dynamics robot tested with the Massachusetts State Police. Now, the company's CEO says the robot can open doors and it will be controlled by an officer in a safe location. The idea is it can be used for dangerous situations, such as a hostage negotiation. But I have to wonder, does it stop there? Well, to talk more and we turn to legal and media analyst Lionel. Lionel, I watched this video, and sure, it looks really cool and really much advanced in tech, but I just have to think of movies like Terminator and Doomsday and all of these horrible things.
And I'll tell you what, those particular robots that we saw right there, this is what's in store in the world of law enforcement. They are going to eliminate many police officers who are out there patrolling. They're going to be eliminated. They have self-driving cars. What do they need officers to drive them for? They have AI. They have robots who can operate those vehicles, the car can drive itself. Get the police officer robot. And let me just share this with you guys real quick. This video is called 9 most advanced AI robots, humanoids industry robots. And I just want to show you guys a little something here.
Productivity, and most importantly, worker safety. In this video, we are going to look at the most advanced humanoid, industrial, and service robots that are changing the future with the help of artificial intelligence. Meet Digit. Manufactured by Agility Robotics, Digit is envisioned to help take care of people in their homes.
So there's one type of robot right there. This one's called Digit. And so, Digit is one type of robot. They've got another little type of robot here as well. And this is
Finance Industries. Pepper has numerous functionalities, including increasing store traffic by attracting the attention of shoppers, creating memorable in-store experiences, stimulating purchase and retain customers.
there's this other
Pepper
guy.
can also gather comprehensive data to enrich the customer base and generate shopper insights.
This guy, right here, Atlas.
This is Atlas, the world's most dynamic humanoid robot built by Boston Dynamics, a company that was previously owned by Google and now by SoftBank.
This robot physically is capable of exceeding human capabilities in just about every aspect.
All these activities demonstrate human-level agility, so the robot can be perfect for search and rescue operations and performing human tasks in environments where humans could not survive.
They can do anything that a real cop can do, and they don't have to worry about being shot in their car while they are eating a donut. So if you think that your job is safe, Mr. Police Officer, I would think again on that. And if you think that the police, if you think your job is going to be safe because you drive the police car, no. In this new AI kind of driven world, you won't be needed to drive, to pull your weapon, to draw your gun, anything. You won't be needed for filling out reports, any of that.
But in the future, you'll be seeing entirely driverless trucks pulling into cities, making deliveries, and turning straight around, making transportation cheaper, which could lower the price of buying things in cities. And
Entirely driverless trucks. Now, if they can do that with a truck, they can do that with a police car. And they have other robots, and that's Elon Musk who is developing this. Elon Musk is engaged and endeavoring to engage in a lot of, well, things that just a few years ago we couldn't even have imagined. Some people have not heard of these advances in robotics, and they have no idea where we're headed and how quickly we are about to get there. So hold on to your seats, because if you have these, you don't need human cops. Okay, I don't want to be the guy hitting this robot, with these big, whatever those things are, tire irons. I don't know what they are. It's a thing that you that you bang the doors down with. It's a battering ram, basically. I wouldn't want to be the guy hitting the robot with the battering ram, with the gun in the robot's hands like that. But there you go. Now this is another robot that is more, that they've been developing for a long time, this Sophia robot. And this robot's been around the circuit, and everyone, marvels at the robotics and the technology that went into creating this robot. And so this is where we're headed, folks. I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there for today. I just wanted to basically point out for the sake of everyone involved, we are Americans, and we will not be oppressed. And we are a free society. This is a nation of free people, and we're not going to let you oppress us, whether you have a badge and a gun or not. So either you got to make up your mind. Are you going to be a demon, or are you going to be a champion of truth and justice for the American people? You can't be both. You can't be an enforcer for a mob boss and think that you somehow, in your mind, that you somehow are a champion of truth and justice. You're not. If you allow yourself to be reduced to, from being the beacon of truth and justice, an icon of what we look up to in America as the gatekeepers of justice, if you're going to reduce yourselves from that to being thugs, Crips, Bloods, thugs for mob bosses, if you're going to allow yourself to be reduced to that, then you go right ahead. But in the end, the people who have always supported you, we're here and we want to support you. Whether or not you get support from us, that's up to whether or not you can dig down inside yourself and find some integrity. That's all I have for this video. I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Until the next time I see you guys, or until the next time you guys see me, take care of yourselves and take care of the people that you love.